ಬರ್ದೆ huh? Hello students, so today we'll go for the next class. In the last class we learned regarding the hemoglobin and myoglobin. So in today's class we'll go for the next oxygen transfer protein in marine invertebrates. In marine invertebrates. Okay. So in marine invertebrates, so the protein we will see here, which will help for oxygen transport, like we have seen in the vertebrates in human beings. Okay, so that's hemoglobin and myoglobin in the last class. Similarly, in marine invertebrates, we will see that the proteins like hemerythrin, okay, hemerythrin and hemocyanin hemocyanin. So these are the proteins which help in transportation of the oxygen in marine invertebrates. Okay, so especially the phylum Arthropods. In phylum Arthropods, okay, lobsters we say lobsters like crabs, okay, and pinna. So such type of in arthropods, so we observe that. So they are having the proteins which help in carrying the oxygen, that is hemerythrin and hemocyanin. Okay, so today we are going to learn and differentiate between these two proteins. Is it right? So we'll go with the first one, that is hemerythrin. Okay, so what is this hemerythrin? The points to be mentioned here is to be known here is this is a non-heme protein. This is a non-heme protein. Okay, so what is heme? Heme in the last class we have learned that it is having a porphyrin ring. Okay, so porphyrin ring will be there, iron is there, and pyrrole ring is there. Okay, so this is called having DB-diazole. So this all thing in the last video we have learned, that is called porphyrin. So this protein hemerythrin does not have the porphyrin ring. So that is what the first, that's why we call it as a non-heme protein. So porphyrin ring is not there. Iron is there, but porphyrin ring will not be there. So it's a non-heme protein here. See here. Okay, so this is what. Similarly, hemocyanin also is a non-heme protein, and this hemocyanin we call it as a blue protein also. So this is called as a blue protein, or we have heard the name like blue blood. So this is what the hemocyanin protein. This is also called as the blue blood protein. So this also we will see in such type of proteins, so lobsters like this. So second thing is what we go to molecular weight. Okay, so molecular weight, if you observe of this hemerythrin, so this is made up of 8 subunits. Okay, so this is made up of 8 subunits. Like this polypeptide chain, like hemoglobin, we have seen that it is made up of 4 subunits, 4 polypeptide chain, and that's why its molecular weight we learned that 64,700 Dalton. Similarly here it is little bit more, so 8 subunits, so that's why its molecular weight is around 1,08,000. So molecular weight will be around 1,08,000 molecular weight of the hemerythrin. Similarly, if you see the hemocyanin, so molecular weight of the hemocyanin is very large. So it is made up of many subunits, very big molecule. So its molecular weight ranges from, okay, so molecular weight ranges from lakh to crores. So its molecular weight ranges from lakhs to crores. See, okay, so this is what about. Now coming to the structure of this hemerythrin. So coming to the structure, so this is made up of 2 iron molecule, and each iron is having the link with the nitrogen of histidine. So like this, 3 nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine molecule, and here we are observing 2. Okay, so here we are observing 2 nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine. Okay, and they are bound with the chain like this. Okay, so like this, like this, like this. Okay, and here iron is bound with the hydroxyl line, O, and here H, hydroxyl, and this chain, okay, this chain is bound by the, I will take it here like this, okay, like this. Okay, so this is bound with the this 2 is bound with the carboxylate of the, okay, this is a carboxylate of the aspartic acid, carboxylate of aspartic acid, and this is a carboxylate of the glutamic acid, carboxylate of the glutamic acid. Okay, So this chain will be the aspartic acid, and this another chain will be of glutamic acid. So this becomes now what the structure of the hemiarythrin in the absence of oxygen. That is what is called deoxyhemiarythrin right here. So it is called as deoxyhemiarythrin in the short form HR. So deoxyhemiarythrin here. This is the structure of the hemiarythrin where the iron is in plus 2 state here. Okay, and they are high speed. So here iron is in high speed. Iron is in high speed. Okay, so what will happen now? So this is high speed. So high speed, so what is the function? F plus 2 means what? It is the D6S2 system. So plus 2 means 2 electron you remove from here. So it is the D6 system. So I will write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So T2G, EG. So D6 system 1, 2, 3, high spin 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is having nearly 4 unpaired electrons. That's why it is paramagnetic. This is a paramagnetic. This is a paramagnetic in nature. Is it right? Now what will happen now? This when it reacts to the oxygen now. Okay. So when this hemiarythrin reacts to oxygen, what will happen? So you can see here the same thing I will draw here. Iron here. This is been attached with N-histidine 3, N-histidine, N nitrogen of histidine. This is attached with 2 nitrogen of histidine. So nitrogen of histidine, here also nitrogen of histidine. Okay, and this is hydroxyl group here. Yes, here now it will change. So this I will write same thing here. Aspartic acid and here glutamic acid. So like this, aspartic acid, carboxylate of aspartic acid and carboxylate of the glutamic acid. Now upon addition of oxygen, what will happen here? So there is a hydrogen bond. Okay, now oxygen binds to this hemiarythrin. Okay, in the form of peroxide linkage here. So what will happen here? So oxygen is here. So hydrogen is here like this. Now this is how many coordinated? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coordinated. This is the 6 coordinated. This iron is a 6 coordinated iron, and this iron is 5 coordinated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coordinated. This is a 5 coordinated iron. This is a 5 coordinated iron. Now the incoming oxygen will bind to this 5 coordinated in the form of peroxide linkage. This you get it here like this. Okay, again here oxygen, and this is going to bind with the hydrogen bond. So this is how the oxygen is going to bind with this hemiarythrin, and during this binding, what will happen? The oxidation state of iron from +2 is converted to +3 like this. +3. Okay, +3 is how many? 5. So 5 unpaired electrons, D5 system +3. But here one thing is very important, very amazing here. We can say that the electrons in this here is being arranged in the antiferromagnetic nature. So here antiferromagnetic nature is antiferromagnetic. Okay, so antiferromagnetic nature. So like here it's paramagnetic, it's antiferromagnetic, and you can see here antiferro 5 electrons are here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this Fe+3. Similarly here it will be opposite. Antiferromagnetic means what? Oppositely bind. So here it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's why they both cancels. And oxyhemiarythrin is diamagnetic nature. So like here it is paramagnetic, here it is a diamagnetic. So oxyhemiarythrin is a diamagnetic in nature, but they have the color here. So they have the color here. So why? Because you can see here. So they are formed peroxide here. Okay, the oxygen which is introduced into this hemiarythrin is in the peroxide linkage, that is -2. Okay, so how it is? Because here iron is giving 1 electron to the oxygen here. Both iron is going to give the electron to the iron electron to the oxygen here. So what will happen here is +2 is there, here +2. Okay, so both will give electron here and then convert to +2 ions. And that's why minus is happening here, and they are going to be in the form of peroxide here. Now this color is not because of the LMCT. Okay, ligand, though it is diamagnetic, but color, why it is colored? Because of the LMCT. So what will happen here? So with iron, so you can see here this is from the 3D orbitals of the iron. The electrons will be from the ligands of the O2 peroxide to the 3D orbitals of the empty orbitals of the iron. So this will give the some color for the oxyhemiarythrin. So like this, this is how the binding of the oxyhemiarythrin, binding of the oxygen to the hemiarythrin is taken place in invertebrates. Okay, so this is a marine invertebrate. This is a case of hemianethrin. Okay, similarly, if you go for hemocyanins, I hope that you understood this hemianethrin. Okay, so very each and every point we have discussed here. So don't forget, this is what, okay, Fe+2 high speed, and this is what, Fe+3 converted, but they are anti-ferromagnetic in nature. And here there is a hydroxyl group here. So 2 iron is bridged by the hydroxide group here. In here, definitely the 2 will be bonded here by the hydrogen bond here. So hydrogen bond peroxide linkage, which peroxide linkage. Okay, so this is paramagnetic in nature, this is diamagnetic in nature, but it is the color of this will give because of what the transition of the electron from the peroxide O2 minus to the empty orbital of the iron, that is 3d orbital of the iron, though it is a diamagnetic. And second thing is what, this is a 6 coordinated, one of the iron in deoxy, and here it is 5 coordinated. So in both, in oxyhemethrin, we can see that both the iron are 6 coordinated. Okay, so this is how the brief we can learn about the hemianethrin and its binding to the oxygen, as well as binding to the oxygen, as well as transportation of oxygen in the marine invertebrates. Similarly, we will go for next now, that is the hemocyanin. So hemocyanin is also the same protein, so we can see which is going to be seen in the marine invertebrates. But like hemianethrin, this hemocyanin is a copper protein. So hemocyanin is a copper protein. This is also they will ask in the competitive CSIR examinations. This more hemianethrin maybe or hemocyanin, they ask 1 or 2, 3 questions will be there. Okay, so this is a copper protein. Hemocyanin is a copper protein. Hemocyanin is a copper protein, and it is called a blue blood. Okay, it's called as a blue blood. And as I said, the molecular weight of hemocyanin is very high. It goes to the lakhs to crores here. Okay, so if you go for this structure of this, I said so it is nothing but your copper. Okay, and it is made up of same thing like in hemianethrin, 5 coordinated histidine and 6 coordinated histidine of Fe+2. So same thing here also. So we can see this is also linked to the nitrogen of the histidine. Okay, nitrogen of the histidine here, and absolutely 6 coordinated, no problem. Nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine. Is it right? And they are linked, like in the hemianethrin, it was linked with the aspartic acid carboxylate of aspartic acid glutamate hydroxyl. Here they are linked with the protein chain like this. Here they are linked with the protein chain. Okay, and this is not having any bond here. So like in hemianethrin, there was a bond between 2 iron Fe+2, but here there is no bond. Okay, so they don't have, but the distance between this copper is around 400, 420, 430 picometers. Okay, so 430 picometer between these two distance here. Okay, and they are linked like this in the chain. And here copper is in +1 state. Copper is in +1 state in hemocyanin. +1 state means what? So D10S1 system. So copper is nothing but D10 4S1 system. So +1 means what? You remove this 1 electron, so it is D10 system. So this is a D10 system. Means what? D10 means no electrons are here unpaired here. So that's why they are perfectly diamagnetic. D10 means they are perfectly diamagnetic. So we cannot observe any DD transition here. So there is no DD transition. DD transition is not observed here in this, and that's why they are colorless. So they are colorless. They are colorless. This is what about the deoxyhemocyanin. So this is what about the deoxyhemocyanin, HC. Okay, so there is no oxygen still absorbed by this protein here, and that's why this is the copper is in +1 state. So D10 system diamagnetic, no DD transition is observed here. So that's why they are colorless. And the deoxyhemocyanin, this is what about the deoxyhemocyanin. Now, what will happen now? This will react with oxygen. How they transport the oxygen? Now you will see what will happen now upon binding with oxygen. This copper is going to change its oxidation state from +1 to +2. So upon binding, so this is how they bind oxygen now. Copper, so this will go to +2, and similarly again same thing here. Hemocyanin, histidine, okay, nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of histidine, nitrogen of twisted in again here like this, like this, like this, like this. This is okay. So this is how the copper is going to bond the oxygen, and here the copper will be in what? +2 state now. So copper is oxidized to +2 state, and oxygen is bonded in the form of peroxide. Here also it is bonded in the form of peroxide, and it is blue in color. This is blue in color. Why? Again saying here, it is blue in color because of the LMCT. So the ligand to metal charge transfer, where you can see that the peroxide electrons is being transferred to the empty d orbital of the copper. Empty d orbital of copper. Empty d orbital of copper. Because this also is an antiferromagnetic in nature. So like here, it is diamagnetic, no doubt. +2 is what? So it's D9, but this is the arrangement of the electrons in this also is antiferromagnetic arrangement. Okay, antiferromagnetic arrangement, and that's why it should be colorless. It's a diamagnetic, but definitely it is blue color. It is a blue color protein we say, and this blue color is because of what? LMCT, ligand to metal charge transfer, where the electrons, free electrons of the peroxide is transferred to the empty d orbitals of the metal copper here. And here this is how, and distance, the copper distance also from 430 picometer, it will decrease upon binding with oxygen, it will decrease to around 360 picometer. 360 picometers. So like this, in the copper we can see that these are the changes upon binding with the oxygen for hemocyanin. This is how we can differentiate between the hemierythrin and the hemocyanin as a protein which is very good oxygen transporter, like we have seen in hemoglobin and myoglobin. But the thing, one small difference we can see here is that the hemoglobin we have observed that it's a cooperative oxygen binding. Is it right? So similarly, in these two cases, hemoglobin as well as hemoglobin and hemocyanin, okay, they are cooperative binding. So that is what one equality you can see between the hemoglobin and hemocyanin. Both are cooperatively binding here. Okay, but hemierythrin is not comes into the cooperative type of binding. So this is how in today's class we learn regarding the differentiation between the hemocyanin and hemierythrin. Hope you understood some of the points. Definitely it will be very helpful for the even competitive examinations. So in the next video we will go for the next concept, that is electron transfer proteins, that is iron sulfur protein or cytochromes in the next video. Thank you. Stop it.
Inactive cell.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ
Okay.